Oh yeah. Back in action helps to choose the right microphone. We've got our mic going, we've got our background music. Alright, thanks for the follow, Nicholas, on Facebook. So, Instagram still not working, I don't know, seems like a piece of shit software to me. This live video function, it just does fuck all. So I'm going to turn that off. All right, in terms of what we're going to do today, I'm going to pull stuff. I don't know exactly what that is going to entail. I really want to do like a barbell pull, but the issue is that there is nerve or vein pain vein pain when I do that. Let me check I'm actually ready to go here. Get that door shut. Good. So yeah, something in my wrist that always hurts past the 60 kg mark, so that's not good. But I'm thinking we could take the hex bar and pull with that with a neutral grip. We could see how far we can go. Okay, I'm liking that idea. Then do a close grip pull with the landmine and a normal barbell, and then I could finish off with a cable row pull on the pulley. So that sounds like an idea. I have about, wait, how heavy are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 90 kg of rubber mats leaning against my hex bar right now, so I gotta shift these around, but luckily, okay, maybe not as light as I was hoping. We can shift that in here. There we go. All right. Right. I haven't been using the hex bar in a long while because I haven't been doing our RDLs, and we also haven't been doing much of these rows, but I do love this bar, one of my favorites, and I love it for pulling that neutral grip when you mid-back, whereas the pronated feels like more like maybe the rear delt, which obviously isn't a bad thing, but you know, but I'm doing it now to see whether the whether it helps my wrist pain. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if that gets any better. Gonna move all this junk somewhere else. I'm gonna have to see. So I'm gonna use the safeties on the rack as a place to load stuff on. And we're going to step back and pull. I'm just going to move the dip stand a bit for some added space. Okay, I think this should be enough. Move some of these small free weights. I really got to clean up this place. Also, I didn't do a warm up on the treadmill now because I don't have time and don't feel like doing that. So just gonna warm up real slow and easy doing the actual movement here. We're gonna try and have a bit of a rapid pace also doing that. So I'm gonna use the fat grips because this bar has 3 different grips. Just to see how much we can work the grip. I'm gonna take my ring off so I don't destroy it. Isildur. Yeah, I'm gonna go from fat grips to medium to small. I gotta get my grip back. It's been getting weaker again, so that's not a good thing. It's one of the key indicators of health, actually, to have a strong grip. Loading this here, not great. We're probably gonna have to actually pull from the ground. So, yeah. Alright, so I do feel a bit weak, clearly, and I do feel this in my wrist. So it could be just the position, something about the hand going downwards and then pulling. I don't know what it is, but it's basically close. So this is where they went in during the heart operation thingy, and slightly below here I have this sort of vein that seems collapsed, or it's gone inwards. I can't see it from this point, and it's there where it hurts. So probably related to that somehow. Yeah, feels plenty heavy to me, but we haven't really been warming up. I suspect today we're gonna just try and keep the weights pretty low, but I don't know. I really missed pulling any kinds of pulls. Back used to be my favorite thing to work out. Maybe it would be also today or these days, but just haven't been able to do as much of that. So back used to be my strongest, if we can manage it. pretty interesting how that feels. About the same as double this way used to feel. So the good thing about this X bar is that you can just lift it like this on its feet. And well, not all hex bars have this, but this one does. And then you can just load weight. It's basically like a deadlift. The only issue here is the space here now. But we'll figure it out. Alright, so we're looking at a miraculous 55 kg right now, which, you know, I can't believe that doing rows around the 100 kg mark for me would be very, you know, wouldn't be atypical. Certainly 80, like a very run-of-the-mill volume row kind of thing, would be very common. Just trying to figure out the space here. Maybe I should move this this dip stand. It's not ideal. I think I'm gonna have to do something with it. If I can just I mean, even this is better. So let's see if we can fit this. I think that's good. Damn. That's the heaviest 55 kg ever. But it, even though I'm pretty weak, it feels good to be pulling that, because that was enough resistance that it really activated some actual stuff. So feels, there's nothing like the feeling of really pulling something, like moving something heavy with your back. It's just, for me, like you just come alive in a completely unique way. So that's a positive. I'm gonna cherish that feeling, because I haven't felt that in a long time. When you do pull-ups, it's not the same, but when you pull horizontally. Like my favorite, absolute favorite, and I'm hoping to be able to do this at some point, is to rope pull a heavy sled. That's my absolute favorite. Just the rope in your hands, the grip, everything here is activated, everything in your back. It's just like, and there's also something very, not perhaps primal, but maybe ancestral. As I guess it would be the same thing, but yeah, it just feels like something you've done before, even if you haven't. Feels like a kind of a genetic memory kind of a thing, if it was something. I love that. I don't have a sled or a place to pull a sled, but that is really the best back pull thing. But maybe in the future I'll be able to. I'll be able to figure something out regarding that. Cool. I did feel my nervous system being a bit like, wait, what is this? So I'm gonna stop here so I don't overdo it here. And next up, we're gonna get the normal barbell for the landmine thingy. So let's try to make our way over here. Get this hex bar back on the stand. We'll get this regular barbell. Get it over here. This is where my landmine is attached, so I'm gonna try and slide it in. I really had to sort out the space. I'm just moving junk around continuously to get to places. So this is another pull that I really used to love, and probably still do, but the close grip barbell landmine row. Something about when your hands are close, obviously the range of motion isn't as great, but you seem to be recruiting the mid back in a very tremendous way. It's kind of like a brute force mass type of a thing. So we're gonna do that. I don't have the best plates in the world for this, but we're not gonna go super heavy anyway because I'm very weak. So yeah, but let's do that. What's up, Tori SS saying lightweight baby. It is literally that. It is literally lightweight, unfortunately. Not like in the sense that a heavyweight would be light, but let's put that handle in there. Let's move this dip stand back where it belongs. This is actually surprisingly light, although it looks super heavy. I mean, it's not like light, but it's definitely lighter than it looks, I would say. But it's a great dip stand. I got it for super cheap. Ridiculous, really. All right, let's just see where we stand. I'm actually gonna start by loading the tenor on here, just to get an idea of where we are. And I'm actually gonna throw a lock in there as well, just for good measure. And I guess this is gonna be the greatest that is very light. I bet that looks very conspicuous. Twitch is gonna cancel me. The man pleasuring himself on Twitch. But I didn't show anything, so it's fine. I mean, I could move the landmine, but it's heavy as shit. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that. What we are gonna do is we are gonna move this 10 kilo plate out of here, and we're gonna at least start off with a 20 kg plate. So we're gonna go over here, pick up that bad boy. That actually, pulling that felt really good. I think what we're also gonna do here is we're gonna do a bit of a platform from these rubber mats, so I can be higher, so the range of motion is going to be greater for me to pull, because I feel like it's a bit restricted, which for this movement isn't all that bad, but I think more in this instance is fine and desirable. So like I said, we don't have a ton of space to work with, so this might end in complete utter failure. Can I actually even do this? Okay, I'll probably need to move the landmine to make this work. So range of motion out of the conversation. We're just gonna pull with this and see. See where we land. Like I said, we need to sort out this space. I'm actually gonna probably get rid of this table and do like a thing that attaches to the wall, so I can just have my laptop there. So I have all this space freed up here. I'm just thinking out loud. So, but I am gonna tighten the soft belt here. There we go. And let's pull. Cool. Again, this is feeling very light, which is good. It's obviously light anyway, but it's fine. I think we're gonna get another 20 kg here. And also, on a positive note, my wrist is not hurting, at least on this weight. So this is now double. We got 40 kg plus whatever the barbell ends up being here. Obviously, most of the weight is going to be towards the landmine itself. But this is feeling surprisingly good, at least yet. Last time I used this, I cut open my finger and I was on blood thinning medication. So I had to go to the hospital to get it glued back together. So I gotta be careful with that. It's a bit, some of the metal edges are a bit rough. So, all right, let's do our next set here. There we go. All right. Is my ass showing on live video? My pants, they are the thing that holds them on me it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. So let's not show my ass crack on international interwebs. Yeah. Ooh. Okay, that actually felt like something. Shit. Yeah. Good times. What I really love about this movement is that when this gets heavy, it really loads up your posterior chain nicely, completely. Like your hamstrings, everything is like needs to be a spring against the weight that you're trying to stabilize in the position of pulling. So you're just like a loaded spring, you know. So you just feel like super engaged, very yeah. It just there's a what's the word that I'm looking for? Again, I guess it's, you know, primal. You feel super charged and engaged. So I don't want to destroy my central nervous system here. So we're gonna call it a day for this, and we're gonna do the one arm cable row next to kind of wrap up this back portion of this, and then we're gonna do our biceps. And I'm thinking today I want to do the easy bar. I want to see where my biceps stand, and see see where we are with that. Now we do have a slight issue of getting all this weight off the barbell, which with this exercise is easier said than done. It's actually very demanding. I think I'm gonna pull out the barbell. First, this is a workout in itself. So now, it's a wee bit easier to just pull out the barbell from the weights, at least in theory. Yeah. All right. I'm going to keep these hanging around in case I'm going to need them, which most likely is not going to happen. Okay. Jeez. That was the roughest part. Getting the weight off. All right, let's take this this barbell. Ooh, feels, I love the feeling of in the beginning of a workout you pick up a barbell and it's heavy as shit. And then towards the end it feels like it's made of like a stick of wood. Yeah, stick of wood. That's not exactly correct English, but let's get this barbell back in here. All right. So at this stage, I'm gonna have a look at the what we actually did with the one arm cable row. Here we go. Alright, so we've been apparently hovering. Yeah, this is heavy shit, man. So at most we've done 25 kg plus whatever the sled is for 12 reps. That is heavy. So the 15 is clearly, that's way too low. So let's start up by loading 20 on there. We'll see how that feels. And then we can adjust from there. I don't know if I'm just gonna do a single set of these. It just depends on how this feels, really. Because it could be hard after all of this other stuff. So 20 kg, let's actually let's adjust this camera a bit. See this, and then let's go downwards so you can see me suffer. Let's move these around. Okay, 20 plus whatever the sled is. I'm pretty sure it's at least, I don't know, I would be guessing 15, but I don't know. Also, the weight ratio in this pulley is, I don't know if they said 1-to-1, so actually pulling the weight that you are pulling, instead of a lot of pulleys that make it easier for you to, well, they don't exactly necessarily want to make it easier for you, but the way the mechanics work is that it just ends up being easier. Oh, you know, the mechanics help you against the resistance that is loaded. But this is supposed to not do that. But let's see where we stand. I'm not going to use straps here, because I do want to work that grip. See if we can make it better. And not much more to it. Shit. Ooh. So that's 12 good ones that I can still do. I'm gonna claw my way up here and do my notes here. Okay, so this is better in the sense that we did apparently 10 on this last time. So, but yeah, this is very different. The comparison is not good because last time we did this, it was our only pull movement, which means you come in a lot more fresh than you are. That was definitely hard, but most likely a pretty ideal resistance. I'm just gonna gather my breath a bit here. 96 BPM. So to our left side. All right, buddy. Okay. There's something hurting very much here in my finger. I'm gonna try and re-grip so the pressure doesn't build as much. Same location. Oh my lord. Yeah, that's... I don't know what's happening here. A lot of pain here. In the back of the knuckles. But clearly also my left side does feel weaker here, so we can presume that it's either just weaker or doing more work on the other exercises that could be stronger. And actually remember which way it was. Also, I'm very curious about this vein here that has been hurting for, once again, many days. Very, very bulgy here. Doesn't feel good. Could also be a nerve, but I don't fucking know. Nobody seems to know, so let's I guess that's all right. All right, Kate. Okay, so last up, I'm gonna attempt the easy barbell bicep curl. And the thing I did last time, which was a lot of fun, I have to say, was the, here it is, one set. These days I only do one set of the arm stuff that I'm doing for that day. Haven't seen a lot of benefit from a lot more of that. I'm sure there is a way of doing that, but well, I'm not tremendously interested in that, no a lot of fruit. But last time we did 35 kg for 11 reps. So, and we've been doing kilo jumps up and up. So 36 it is. I actually don't know if I'm weaker or stronger in my biceps than I was back then. I would guess I'm weaker, unfortunately, but things were going surprisingly well back then when I last time did this. So, but we'll see. There's only really one way of finding that out. So we have our easy barbell here. What's up, NA 94765787 saying, hey, can I set an exercise challenge? You mean for me? In that case, no, because I have this, well, I mean, first of all, we're finishing up here, but I also have a plan for what I do for the day. But if I'm doing something that I'm doing right now, then you can obviously, you know, throw something in there. I think that's fun, and that's a big part of working out. Trying to make it fun for me, because otherwise it gets super tedious and that's boring. But you find pull-ups hard. 10 pull-ups. I can do 10 pull-ups. You know what? Let's first do our bicep curl. Well, the technique demands, because if I do 10 of the pull-ups that I do usually, that's actually pretty hard. because I do them wide grip on the rings, and I also do super controlled pull-ups. If you just want to like pump out the reps, that's a hell of a lot easier. But since I'm trying to maximize hypertrophy, I try and go up very explosively, and then come down very controlled and go pretty slow. And that's, I don't know, that's at least 3 to 5 times harder than just, I don't know if kipping is the right word, but yanking yourself up there. So, but I do recommend like slow and controlled if you want to grow muscle. It also grows strength for sure, because you're doing the explosive part up as well. But yeah, pull-ups are one of those things, like if somebody asks you how many pull-ups can you do, there's really no way of answering that without asking what the restrictions are. Because if the point is just to like go up really fast and not be controlled, then that's a very different conversation from doing that. You paused just to say, so can't hear. Okay, maybe we probably have some kind of internet issues, because I can't see anything on my end. It's not even, usually Streamlabs lets you know if you have some upload issues, but I don't see anything. So, because I don't see anything, there isn't a lot I can do. Hopefully it comes back. So sorry about that. Okay, we've got 30 on here. So we gotta go ahead and, so the bar is 10, those are 10 each, so that's 30, 35 with these locks, and 36. So let's load these on here. There we go. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with the internet, but hopefully it fixes itself. Okay, I'll actually put these locks on pretty tight. It's fine now. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere, so occasionally the internet is a bit shit. I actually have the 5G modem is 2 floors up, pretty good spot. Then I have a routing system from 3 floors down here. So it works pretty good for the most part. Sometimes it just cuts off for some reason, which is a bit annoying. All right, cool. This is gonna be hard. There's really no way around that fact. So just gonna power through. This is always gonna be super gnarly towards the end. I don't know what it is about like heavy, easy barbell curls, but they go deep into your soul, at least for me. Maybe I'm over activating myself. I don't know, could be, but if you do these kind of strict and controlled, it's gnarly. It gets gnarly. So, okay, last time with 35 kg we did 11 reps, and our reps have been going down from 15 reps as the weight has increased. So I would say if we can do around 10, I'll be a very happy man. So we'll see. NA is asking, so what were you saying about pull-ups? You do a harder technique. Yeah, so basically with a pull-up, if somebody asks you, how many pull-ups can you do, there's, in my opinion, there's no way of answering that without defining technique, because you can basically, you know, it's very different to just you know, go up like this and, you know, yank yourself. I have a fucking bench there, so I can't even do this here. But it's very different from going, you know, total dead hang and then controlling yourself down like that. Doing reps that way is probably, I'd say, maybe 5 times more difficult than it is to kind of yank yourself up there. Or I think kipping is a different technique, but it's a very different thing, because if you take momentum out of the pull-up, it becomes, I'd probably say, 5 times harder. But if you use momentum to go up and down, then you can do a hell of a lot more. So that's a really boring answer, and people are gonna be like eye rolling when you say that, but it's a fact. You know, you can try it yourself, and you can see that you can do a hell of a lot less when you do it strict and control. And if you're really interested in building muscle, and I'd say probably even strength outside of the, you know, specific aims of doing pull-ups in a certain way, like in CrossFit, for example, there's a certain technique and you want to optimize for that technique. But if you're looking for pure strength, then you know, the more you can control the weight, the better it's going to be. But yeah. And you know, I'm far more, and anybody who understands this is far more impressed with, you know, very controlled pull-ups, exploding up and then controlling yourself down, and doing 10 reps that way. Very different than just getting yourself up there in this sort of a fashion. So cool, rant over. Let's do this. There's nothing more to this. I'm just gonna get into it. So all right, jeez. Rep 7 comes the cold sweat. That's the first stage. Rep 8 is the dizziness. And after that, you just try and stay conscious. Don't pass the fuck out, as far as I counted. So that's good. That means we're in better shape. What's up, Bowser Big Bean Burrito? I still can't believe I get that name right. But yeah. All right, that's good. I'll take that. But yeah, that is genuinely one of my favorite movements, because tough to strict curl. And he's asking, so how you just did a pull-up is your technique, and also bent legs makes a difference, I think. So, well, first of all, touching on the legs, it's a matter of finding balance. So if you have your legs in front of you, which often is the case that people, okay, if I turn this way, you can sort of, but people tend to, when you pull up, people tend to have, you know, their legs up here or in front of them. Not a good idea. Again, depends on what you're doing, but if you're just trying to build muscle, you want to have the weight in an axis of movement that maximally loads itself onto your lats. Really, that's the main muscle you're trying to develop there. Obviously, pull-ups are basically closest to my body, and that it loads, since the legs are, so what I like to do, even if I had the ceiling clearance to just, you know, stand, which I don't if I use the rings here. So I have to raise my legs somehow. But even if I did have more clearance, I would still do that, because when you curl your legs to the back like this, it just balances, it puts more weight to the right place when it's in the back as you're pulling, because it's sort of it's not a straight, how can I show this? It's not like a complete straight up angle. There's like a slight bias towards this way. So as you're pulling, if your legs are in the back, they sort of line up with that axis of movement. So I really prefer it that way, and feels so much better, because if your legs are in the front, that's going to put weight there, and it's going to, as you pull, it's also going to slide again that lower body forward, which you now need to fix by stabilizing, and that's less work in the right place, which is your lats, which is your back, and, you know, third, your biceps. So that's why I do it. I do recommend it. Some people just have their legs sort of naturally curving to the back. That's fine. And also, if you have weight, like a weight belt, if you need to add weight to the pull-up, that also kind of helps with that same thing. But I always keep my legs to the back for those reasons. So in terms of the technique, I can do a couple of pull-ups to show what I do, and this is very much if you check out a channel on YouTube called Renaissance Periodization, they're like hypertrophy training people, so they just want to build as much muscle as possible. This is what they talk about as well. But yeah, I like to go from, okay, let me get this bench out of the way, because I can't really do this otherwise. Because one of the things people do with a pull-up is they feel very weak in the dead hang position, which is natural, because maybe you are weak, and that is the weakest point of the movement. So what you often see is people don't do a dead hang like this. Instead, they sort of stay in this position, which is obviously a bit loaded, so it's a bit easier to start a new rep from there. And also, those last few inches, that's what she said, are hard. That's also what she said. So from a dead hang is, again, so much harder to initiate a new rep than it is to go, you know, from this kind of a position. So dead hang, very much harder, but it builds more strength and more muscle because it's a fully stretched position. So yeah, that's what I do. Dead hang, very recommended. And from that, I try and go up as fast as possible and then control myself down like that. And when you control yourself on the eccentric, which is the down portion, that also builds a heck of a lot of muscle. So, and you miss out on that if you just come down really fast. If you're not controlling yourself down, you're by definition not using muscle to come down. You're just letting gravity do its thing. So and then he's asking, how many pull-ups with your technique is your max? I don't actually know. Definitely what I do know is my limiting factor is my grip. So I would probably need to test it with straps so I can eliminate my grip, which by the way is a good thing to do if you just want to work your muscles, your back muscles, that is. I don't know. With that technique, if I came in fresh, it's I don't know, probably more than 10, but hard to say. If I was very fresh, I don't know, we can test that. We can test that, not now, but on actually my next pull-up workout is going to be, my next pull workout is going to be a pull-up focused one. So we can definitely test it on that. Thanks for the follow, Kata Yamayuichi. Okay, I'm gonna try that again. Kata Yamayuichi. Let me know if that's right, but thanks for the follow. Yeah, I would probably say above 10, but certainly not more than 15, I don't think. Even if my grip isn't the limiting factor. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's find out next time. Yeah, so the bent legs, as you're hanging from this position, obviously if I put my legs to the back, there's going to be more weight to the back of my body. So instead, if they're here in the front, you can see that, well, you can't really see it, but you're going to shift forward. And that's going to not put the weight in the right line of axis. So, it's going to work your shoulders. It's going to be awkward. So not good. Legs in the back put more weight to the back. And if you're pulling, you're sort of supposed to be pulling like a more extreme incline position. You're sort of like pulling like this. It's not like a straight up down thing. It's more like this kind of thing, pulling to your chest, the bar. So that's why having legs in the back lines up pretty much perfectly for that. NA says, it's interesting as every exercise, there is probably a better way to do it or more effective way. Yeah, I mean, it depends on where you stand and what you know, etc. But definitely you always keep experimenting and trying out different things, testing out what works, trying different variations. Also, it's like having variety is good stimulus for the body. So if you're stuck in your routine, just doing things slightly differently can help a lot. But you shouldn't assume that you have the best way of doing it, and just try out stuff and then you land on something better. And you just keep doing that, and then maybe you land on something perfect. So the further you bend legs back, the better. Well, I would say yes, because let's say this is your leg and you curl your legs to the back, the closer to your body they are, the more centered your mass is, which means it's going to be easier for you to, it's going to be more focused for you to pull, with your back, because your legs are close to you. It's like if something is far away from you, it's going to be a hell of a lot heavier. Like if I have this 2.5 kilo lock here, it feels so much more heavy here than it does here, because my center of mass is, the weight is closer to the center of my mass. So I can, everything, the further away things are from you, the heavier they are to move. So it's the same thing. Like if you have your legs close to you, then your weight is more centered and it's going to be easier to pull. So yeah, I mean, if you curl your legs completely to the back, this is the most I can do, because my hamstring, well, actually I just don't have more knee flexion. But yeah, so there's no harm in them being as close to you as possible. What's up, Swedish pancake champ? How you doing? All right, let's wrap this up by doing our torture wheel. And again, probably my grip is going to be actually the limiting factor, which probably sounds weird on an ab exercise, but with this, definitely a different story. That's enough. I feel like the right side of my abdomen is gonna explode. Right. Ugh. And he says, try a fully bent leg. I feel it would make the body go forwards though. You mean like bent to the back? This is my fully bent position. I can't actually bend them any more than this. But that's how I do them. That's as much as I can bend my leg. But yeah, it definitely doesn't. It puts more weight to your backside, which means if you're pulling in this sort of an axis, then it just lines up perfectly. So I know, try it out. And if you said pull-ups are hard for you, pull-ups are one of the most difficult things to start if you haven't done any of them before. So definitely if you have like an assisted pull-up machine at your gym, use it. That's the best way of doing it. It might feel embarrassing, and that's the main reason why most people never get into pull-ups, because they're not willing to go on the assisted pull-up machine. But it's fantastic because it looks like I understand visually that it seems like very embarrassing, but you're not there to, at least you're not supposed to be at the gym because you don't want to, because you want to avoid looking embarrassing. You're supposed to be there to better yourself and get healthier and improve yourself. So assisted pull-up machine is best. Just start with, I would use one if I had it here. It's one of the best ways to warm up to a pull-up as well, in my estimation. Just put a lot of counterweight and then begin to drop it out, and eventually you'll get to normal pull-ups. And even if you can do normal pull-ups, you can just do a lot more with a assisted pull-up machine. So that's the best way. The second best is what I have here. This is how I warm up for pull-ups. Oops. Sorry about the noise. Single handle thingy-majingy. I'm actually going to lower the camera here a bit. And this is how I warm up for pull-ups. I basically look for an angle. How much would this be? Would be like I guess like 120 angle. Because like when you're even pulling, this is why I use these rings, because when you pull up with them, they're in a slight angle like this. They're in a slight position towards the neutral grip. Not like neutral, but a slight neutral tint to that. So I just kind of try and mimic that on the pull-up, on the pulling. And this is one of the best ways to basically get to know your lats and feel your lats. So full stretch, and then I like to keep my arm actually on the lat as kind of a cue, and then pull up into the lat. And I usually think about pulling as low to the lat as possible as well. So this is a great way of learning to feel your lats, get a good squeeze, get a good warm up. as big of a stretch as possible. So that's again like the dead hang position. And you pull and you squeeze. And you I try and pull deep into the lat. And that's how I like to warm up. And also this is how you can build up strength towards a pull-up. You can start with no weight at all and work your way up from there. And this is in fact how I like to finish off my pull-up workouts as well. So I'll do my pull-ups first. And then once I'm done with that, I don't have anything left. I'll move to the pulley with a lighter weight, and then I'll finish off my lats by mimicking the same movement. So that's what I would do. This is probably not as great as an assisted pull-up, but pretty damn close. I would say this actually taught me to feel my lats the best out of anything. So I would recommend that. NA says, I like how you explain things. Does make a lot of sense. Cool. This is as... I can't make my calves. Well, I guess I can force them to touch, my butt. But if I need to curl it myself, this is as much as I can do. So this is kind of the max contraction my hamstring does. It just like you have to stretch it beyond that. So yeah. Yeah, it's hard to start doing pull-ups. The wheel thing you did, was that for abs? Yeah, that's called literally an ab wheel. So that's what it does. It's mainly for the abs. It actually does engage other stuff as well. Your grip, because you have to, grip onto this thing. That's harder if you weigh more. Shoulders also, it does activate them. That's also a good way of finding if you have weaknesses. Because that used to be tough on my shoulders, but it's not that anymore. So that's cool. But yeah, it's for abs. I find the ab wheel is absolutely the best thing for abs, sort of holistically speaking. Like if you just generally want to develop your abs strength-wise, especially, I'd say ab wheel. And nothing for me, and this is very different for people, but for me, nothing engages the abs as well as the ab wheel does. Just a set of that, sprinkled throughout the week does it for me. But yeah, overall I'd say my favorite ab exercise. NA says, I think I dislike any hanging exercise. They are tougher. Like the leg raises, I find hard to get my legs out straight in front of me. Yeah, leg raises definitely a tough exercise, especially if you're new to working out. There's so many things that they demand of you that I don't think it's a reasonable thing to start with, because first of all, most people's grip as they start to work out is not going to be strong enough to, hang from a bar. If you're a lighter person, then it might be possible, but it's also pretty difficult to do mechanically. Like most people can't control their body that way without quite a bit of training. So I would not start with leg raises for multiple reasons. There's nothing wrong with doing crunches and different variations of crunches. They're absolutely fine. I love the ab wheel. I would probably just recommend someone get that. And even if you can't get back up from the prone position, just controlling yourself downwards as much as possible is also good. That develops the abs to an extent, and then after a time you can maybe get back up as well. I love the ab wheel. That's great. Then probably the next thing for somebody who's new to it would probably be some kind of a crunch variation. But yeah, leg raises would be definitely last in the line because they are tough. there's a lot of like body mechanics, like controlling your body, that goes into leg raises. That it just okay. So you're asking any tips on leg raises? Okay, if you're a beginner, get straps. So these go around your wrist like this. So we really want to eliminate the grip factor because most people are limited by that. So you put these on. And also, don't start with leg raises. If you're going to do this movement, start with knee raises. So you raise your knees, which is a hell of a lot easier than trying to raise your legs. So you roll the thing over the bar and you grip on the strap itself. So this makes hanging on a lot easier. And from the dead hang, you simply raise your knees to yourself. And again, do this very slowly and controlled, like this. Don't rush upwards. Try and go as controlled as possible, because you're really trying to just make your abs control the middle of your body. So do this. Do not raise your legs, raise your knees first. And then once you build strength with this, then you can move on to leg raises. But even for me, when I do leg raises, and I'm by no means a very athletic person, and I don't have great control of my body and its mechanics. When I do leg raises, it looks like a shitting bear. Like, it's so, I'm sure some of the videos I have, I'm definitely doing them probably further back in time quite a bit, but it looks like a bear is shitting in the woods. It looks, because I don't have a very mobile hip and lower back. That's an understatement, but it just, it looks super awkward. Like if you look at someone like, like a pro bodybuilder or anybody who does it at a pro level, it's very, like they have a pure hang and then only the legs are moving. No, for me, it's like I kind of got around my lower back as well a bit, and it looks like the bear is hanging from a tree and shitting all over like a blueberry bush or something. But again, it doesn't really, I mean, I wish it didn't look that way, but it doesn't matter if you look embarrassing. At least, I mean, in principle, for me, it shouldn't matter. I think it's pretty funny. But yeah, but it does build abs really well. It is a good movement. It just, it is a lot harder than people think. I would start with knee raises. Also, your gym might have a kind of a, what do you call them? Like an ab bench stand thingy. They kind of look like this, but they usually, back here, they have a pad where you put your back against the pad, and it has like these kind of leg thingies there, and you hold on. And also you have padding on here so you can rest your hands here. This is actually a wee bit dangerous because I don't have the stability, but basically they're the same. You can, sit there like this and raise your legs, and then if you, I don't actually want to raise my legs because my hands are not stable on here, but they look like that. That's what they're for. That's actually far better stability, but yeah, those might be at your gym. So those are good for starting to do leg and knee raises. And then once you can do a leg raise, I alter between a knee raise and a leg raise. That's actually what I do these days. If I do that movement, I do one knee raise and one leg raise, and then that gives good variety, gives you a good mix of things, because they don't quite hit the same things in your abs. It kind of gives you a bit of a rest in between, especially when the leg raises are harder. So You do need better core strength for a leg raise, and also it activates the bunch of muscles here, like the psoas and stuff like that, which connect your leg to your torso. So yeah, it's a lot harder. If you want to see me do a leg raise, you have to go through the old videos. I mean, if you're around, we can do a few at the end of our. Then afterwards, I'll try and remember. So I just remembered actually that I want to finish up this with the side delt raises, which I have to say feel really good. A lot easier than I expected. That's very close to failure. Yeah, I'll do the leg raises on that next pull-up workout, or actually could be any workout. I just don't know when I'm gonna be here next, but you can check it out from that. Oh my lord. Oh. Yeah, that's it. Good. I was actually really happy I remembered to do those, because we've been ashamed to miss that. Cool. The other option is laying down leg raise, I suppose. It's like a normal leg raise. Yeah, I haven't done those. I mean, probably back in, primary school when you had to. The problem with that is that it's super hard in the starting position, because gravity is, again, your legs are far further away from your body and gravity is pulling on them. So it's hard in the beginning, and it gets easier towards the end because you can just lay your legs down towards gravity. That can be super tough to start. So if you have a friend who can give you like a hand in the beginning, helping you get the feet off the ground, that's it. But because of that reason, it's very difficult to get going with that exercise. So I would start with a knee raise rather than start with that. But that's actually, it's not easy. I really do recommend the ab wheel, because again, it scales so well. And anybody can just go downwards with it. Like, you don't have to get back up, you just resist. Try and stabilize your body as you're, wheeling outwards towards the floor. And then just you don't have to get back up with the wheel. You can just get back up normally and do another rep, resisting your weight downwards. So that's what I would do. Cool, this is it for today. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already done that, consider following on wherever you might be watching. So, but thanks for tuning in. Nice chatting with you, and I'll see you next time, hopefully. So take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Finished.